Has the president reached out to the families of those service members who did not receive death benefits and apologized to them that they didn't receive those death benefits?
I don't have any private conversations to read out to you. The president took action to solve this problem, ordered a creative solution to solve this problem, a problem caused by House Republicans.
All right, so that would be a no. Jay Carney refusing to answer that question is not only rude, it's completely disrespectful to anyone who has ever worn a military uniform and defended our freedom. Joining me now with reaction, the co-host of The Five, Kimberly Guilfoyle, the publisher of Federalist.com, Benjamin Domenech, and Democratic strategist Chris Hahn. Military chaplains can't say mass, Kimberly. World War II vets, we know what happened to them. Vietnam vets, Normandy, families wanted to go see the graves of their loved ones. Death benefits, the VA, we're even taking down TV cameras so they can't watch football or baseball playoffs. Commissaries closed. Was this done intentionally to inflict harm to advance the president's cause?
I think the obvious answer is yes, and I never thought that I'd wake up in America, in this great country, to a situation like this, where this was the view. Like you said, it's so clearly fallen and forgotten. If we can't honor and respect those that serve to fight for our freedoms, then we truly aren't the same country that we all fought for.
You know, why can't they answer a simple question? We now know they did know that about the death benefits in particular. They did know what was happening with the World War II vets. There is discretion. 83% of the government's open. Why? Why didn't they do something sooner? Why did it take public outcry to embarrass them into doing the right thing?
I think that there are unforeseen consequences in this. And you think when a guy from Yale and Harvard, like Ted Cruz, is the architect of this shutdown, he would have seen
Chris, we're not talking about Ted Cruz. The White House knew. Answer this question. The White House knew. Why did it take a public outcry for them to do something?
I think that the White House should not have allowed the military benefits. I'm okay with the national monuments being closed, but I don't like the fact that these death benefits weren't paid out.
You're okay with World War II vets having to break down barricades?
You know
What's wrong with you?
It's not an essential service. The House Republicans could have kept this government open, and I quite frankly don't want to see a piecemeal opening of the government.
You want the Republicans to surrender.
Exactly. Yes, I do. I want them to surrender.
Your position is that you want Republicans to give up every bit of leverage that they possibly have, and then we can start the negotiation. Right. What logic does that apply?
See, but here's the problem. We have given the Republicans everything they've asked for. The Senate number and the House number are the exact same number for the budget.
What are you smoking?
Even after we have won the election, they want us to keep going forward.
Let me help you out, Kimberly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of vitamins.
What they wanted was defund. What they wanted was delay. What they wanted is the end of special exemptions. The Democrats wouldn't even take any of them up.
Yeah, and to blame and shame the Republicans and demonize them, but they're the ones making these choices that are awful and offensive and disrespectful to the military, to the veterans, to this country, and for what we stand for. But yet they have no shame, is what I've seen. It just doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, if
because they'll do anything
Republicans
to win.
could open the government tomorrow. They can have all these things restored tomorrow.
They give you everything you want.
Well,
They passed
defunding Obamacare,
here's the
that
problem.
was the issue last year.
You ought to be embarrassed that you come on this program and you say, I'm okay with having World War II vets in wheelchairs, the greatest generation fighting for freedom against tyranny, that they would have to use their wheelchairs and tear down barriers. You ought to be embarrassed about that.
I don't want any of the government shut down. Republicans that come on this program
You said you're fine with it, so you changed your mind? You just said you're fine with it.
Anything, but look, if we're going to shut down the government, what's going to get shut down? Just the poor people getting food?
Did you have a problem with this back in the 80s when Tip O'Neill was using this as a negotiation tactic to get the 86 Accord? Did you have the problem with this in 1990 when they did the same thing to get H.W. Bush to back off on taxes? This is the way that the process works, and it has worked for decades.
We haven't had a government shutdown in a real long time, in 2 decades almost.
17 years.
And you know, the government is a far more complex place that provides far more services, and I know that's part of the conservatives. I know that's part of the conservatives' problem with government. But let's have a conversation like adults. There was an election last year. We won the election. The Republicans should come to the table and bargain like adults.
House Republicans, maybe I'll give all of you liberals a copy of the Constitution, because we have something known as separation of powers. Under the Constitution, spending authority comes from where, Kimberly?
Well, that's the problem.
The House.
From the House, but they don't care about that. They avoid the rules. They don't want to follow. They want to play by their own terms. They're not interested in a healthy negotiation or discussion or reevaluating this bloated entitlement bureaucracy that you guys created.
But the House budget was taken up by the Senate in March, and passed and returned to the House different. The Senate has asked for a conference. The House has refused until last week.
All the Senate wants to do is drop this whole consideration so that they can go back to doing what they were doing before, which is ignoring the House completely on every single aspect of policy that matters. When
they are the cooling saucer.
We got to run. Will the Republicans cave? Kimberly, last question. Will they cave?
No, they'll escalate.
They are absolutely going to cave. They're caving already. The Koch brothers want them to cave, and so do a lot of other people on Wall Street. They're writing letters to him saying cave.
Oh you're dreaming.
I read the Wall Street Journal. It's a great paper. I saw Paul Ryan's article yesterday. That looked like a cave to me.
Come back and talk to us.
Or was it today? All the days are blending.
No, that was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
We got to go. Coming up.